Tap here. Look, doing a lot of work to the truck right now. Got some things going on with it. 99 GMC Sierra 5.3. Started getting a top end tap. Anyway, long story short is dropped the oil pan and did some other things, getting ready to change out the oil pump and taking this loose. But we've got a problem here with sludge. We've got sludge in this oil pan like crazy. I mean, it's pretty thick. And we're also going to inspect for some pieces. See if we find any metal in there. This is really the first one I've ever done, but we've got everything tore apart. And let me tell you, if anybody tells you that you got to drop the torsion bar, all these things that they say you got to drop, no, you don't have to drop all that stuff to get the oil pan off, okay? Get the oil pan off, all you need to drop is the differential. You need to drop the axles that hook to the differential to keep the pressure off of it. And you may have to take the actual pitman arm and the idle arm loose and take the center link out and push that differential forward. But I was actually taking it loose and somehow maneuvered that pan, and it came off. It came off. The only thing that may stop you is the pickup tube, because the pickup tube is going to sit down in that hole. All right, the pickup tube sits down in that hole, and it is basically what's going to be holding it up, because you can't move that pan forward because of the way the pan's shaped. But actually, the way the pan's shaped makes it difficult to move it forward. Okay, so you're going to have to finagle with it. But if you drop the differential, the cross member, and you take those axles loose, then you shouldn't have a problem. You should be able to move. You should be able to have enough room to get that pan out. And if not, then let the pan drop down. I didn't even drop the differential all the way out. I dropped it down about 3 inches. Now, that was enough to give me enough room to reach up in there with a ratchet, okay, or a small wrench, and get the actual pickup tube broke loose. There's only 3 bolts on the pickup tube. The pickup tube itself is right here, and there are 1, 2, 3 nuts that are going to hold it on. Okay, and once you take those off, then guess what? You're pretty much home free. Okay, and you can reach your hand up in there and get it. It's a dirty job, but reach your hand up and get it. I hope that this fixes my truck. I have no oil pressure, no oil coming to the top of the engine and stuff. If you have a problem with your oil pump, or you feel like you're not getting oil pressure, please check your gauges, because if you check your gauges, I thought mine was running fine. I had 45 pounds of oil pressure pretty much most of the time, between 45 and 50, and it was not working at all. My gauges were somehow messed up or whatever, and I didn't know it, and it caused a lot of problems. But the reason I'm telling y'all this is because you're going to have pitfalls. You're going to have things that happen. I mean, this is my whole livelihood, this truck. And so I can imagine, people out there that are trying to fix their vehicles right now and struggling and everything. Look, you don't have to go through all that stuff, okay? So don't drop all these unnecessary things off. Don't take the motor mounts off. Don't do all that shit, okay? You can get that pan out, and then there's plenty of room to get it back in. That oil pan gasket is leaking. And also, on the corners of the oil pan where it goes to the block, okay, on one of the corners, you need to put a good bit of RVT right there. And I would actually suggest a thin sheen, even on a new gasket. I would suggest like a thin sheen on both sides. Once on the oil pan, put the gasket on, put something to hold the gasket, maybe a small piece of wire, and put a small sheen around it too, because there are big differences in that block as far as the corners are concerned. That's what I would do. And be sure you scoop anything out your oil pan and strain and stuff, because you might find some chunks in there. And if you're like me, I'm on the fence about getting a motor or not getting a motor, So just be sure that you just check your oil pan and drain everything out. Don't throw any of the fluids out. Make sure you take it and let them separate, let it settle, and see what you got at the bottom. Because if you find enough debris and stuff like that in there, shiny stuff and big chunks, then you might want to go ahead and look at getting either another engine or something rebuilt, because you're going to be having problems. But we actually took the pan off. I took the actual cover off. There's a cover that's between the oil pan and the actual crank. And this is what it looks like. That's it right there. Go ahead and take that off. I mean, you want to go ahead and inspect everything you can inspect and get as much information as you can, where you can make an informed decision. And that's what I'm doing now, because if you're changing an oil pump and you're looking in the filter, which you should be looking at, and you'll be looking in the oil that you took out of it, and you're looking also in the bottom of the sump pump, in the dead end bottom of that pan, you're gonna find enough evidence to make a decision of whether you want to change that damn oil pump out or not, because it might not be worth it. You may find enough stuff in there that leads you to believe, man, this engine is a failure, or else it's going to fail, or else maybe I can get a few miles out of it. I'm hoping that I can get, maybe put an oil pump on there and get 10,000 miles on it. Maybe I can get another 5,000 miles out of this thing. It's worth it to me to try. The engines for these 5.3s, you can find them used with, anywhere from 150 to 175,000 miles, for anywhere from, I've seen them from as low as $500 all the way up to $1,200, and that's a used one. So, I mean, there are good used engines out there. Just be careful what you're looking at. And buying them from an individual is one thing, if you know them, but buying from an individual that you don't know without a good inspection on it or anything like that, I wouldn't recommend that. For what we pay for an engine, say it's $800, you can buy a whole truck for that. That's got some problems in some other departments, like let's say the transmission's messed up. So anyway, I tell you what, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and we're gonna give you an update in maybe a day or two. We're gonna be waiting for some parts to come in. Until then, look, take care of your vehicles, take care of each other. ASAP out.